Number one on the list is the... What's up, everybody? I am back in Cache County, Utah, and I'm looking for some species that I still need on my year list here. We're sitting in the 160s, but I'm really trying to get to 200. It's gonna be close. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hit it, but hopefully today we can break into 270. But while I'm birding, I thought I'd talk about 5 movies that birders would enjoy. Movies always seem to ask the most important questions.
Don't they ever stop migrating?
And if you're like me, you can find yourself birding throughout movies. Now, many of you have seen Dune, the first Dune, and in one part of Dune, there's a killdeer screaming in the background that totally distracted me from the rest of the movie.
I wanted to be a pilot. You never told me that. Your grandfather said.
The number one bird here in most abundance is the white-faced ibis. There are hundreds of white-faced ibis, probably upwards of 200, definitely maybe upwards of 300. There's just so many white-faced ibis here. Then there's a ton, just absolute ton of Franklin's gulls. These are amazing gulls. Not my favorite gull though. The Bonaparte's gull is my favorite gull, but they look really similar. They're one of those black-headed gull species, so really cool. Neither of those species we are here looking for though. We need double-crested cormorants and blue-winged teals. Hopefully we can come across either of those species today. So far, no luck on my end. But yeah, let's talk about number 5 on our movie list. Now, I don't have any honorable mentions this time, partly because there is not a ton of movies about birds, unfortunately. No honorable mentions, but we're gonna start with number 5. Number 5 on our list is an animated movie. I'm sure most people have seen it, but number 5 is going to be Happy Feet.
They're making us appetizers! They're appetizing us! We're all gonna die.
Now, I included this movie not because it's super, bird accurate or anything, but it's a movie about penguins. Are you kidding me? And not just one species of penguin, several species of penguin. There's also some other Arctic species in the movie. Would highly recommend birders to go watch Happy Feet again from a birder's perspective. See the birds that are in the movie, see what birds have to go through. I know it's a little bit embellished because it's a cartoon, but I think birders would enjoy Happy Feet as a movie. Now, don't worry, not every movie on this list is going to be an animated movie, but this one had to make the list. Picked up a few more birds on the list. We have American avisis out there as well. This is a city polishing pond that they've given permission to birders to come and bird. So it's a pretty cool place. The water's actually drained right now. It used to be higher, so I'm not exactly sure where these blue-winged teals are supposed to be. I'm assuming there's a little stream to my right here. Maybe they're in the stream there. But another bird that we picked up that hasn't been on the channel in a long time is Swainson's hawk. You can probably hear it screaming in the background if you have good ears. Swainson's hawks are super cool, and honestly, they dominate Cache County in the late midsummer. So pretty cool birds to pick up on camera. Still looking for at least one of the target species that we came for. Unfortunately, not a lot of luck at the moment. Movie number 4 on my list, and yes, it's another animated movie, but I had to put it on here, is the movie Rio.
Don't talk to me about nature. I watch Animal Planet. I know all about the food chain.
If you like endangered birds, the movie Rio features the blue macaw, also known as the Spix's macaw. It's one of the rarest birds in the world. It's about the illegal pet trade, and again, not super bird accurate, but there's a lot of fun birds to identify, a lot of Brazilian fun birds to identify. Strongly encourage people to go watch this movie, especially if you have kids. If you want kids to get into birds, these are great gateway bird movies for kids to be like, whoa, what's that? What's that? And you can teach them what the birds are. So Rio is the number 4 movie on my list for that reason. Just picked up a few new species to add to our list today. We actually have a late season adult bald eagle. Bald eagles aren't as common in the summer as they are in the winter, so it's pretty awesome to see this adult bald eagle chilling here. Happy to get that on camera. Also picked up some spotted sandpipers bobbing their tails up and down, which is pretty awesome. So we're gonna continue on. There's a ton of ducks over here. I think I see my blue-winged teals. Unfortunately, the lighting is awful and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get them on camera, but that's a great bird to pick up for Cache County for the year. Finally, still not seeing my double-crested cormorants, but we have one more pond over here to check before I call a failure on that one. Finally picked up my double-crested cormorant for Cache County for the year. That took way too long to get that, but there were like 9 or 10 of them out here, so plenty of cormorants to be had. Unfortunately, I spooked all the ducks in the water. I did pick out a few species, but didn't get any of them on camera, so that's one target species for the day down. Still looking for the black-crowned night heron. Still looking to confirm the blue-winged teals, even though I'm pretty sure I have them out there. I just got to get a better angle from the sun. So we'll see if we can find those and talk about the number 3 movie on our list. Movie number 3 on my list is Fly Away Home.
Amazing, isn't it, how they follow her around like that?
Yeah, it's called imprinting. First living thing a goose sees when it's born, it automatically assumes it's its mother.
Now this movie, maybe a lot of you have not watched this movie, but it's about this young girl who bonds with a whole bunch of, I believe, Canada geese chicks. I don't know what happened to the parents or whatever, but eventually she raises them up and then teaches them how to migrate. So definitely worth watching this movie. It's very interesting, especially if you like geese and if you like migration and you like a feel-good 90s movie. This movie should be on your list to watch. Now the next 2 are some of my favorite bird movies of all time, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I have seen over 100 ducks out here, and unfortunately, that's just too many ducks to count. So we're going to have to take a whole bunch of photos of them. I'll tell you some of the highlights at the end of this video of what ducks I was able to find and pick out from the photos. Just flushed a black-crowned night heron. That's awesome. That's one of my target species for the day. Also heard a Virginia rail, which is another target species for Cache County. We're just knocking them off the list. Honestly, I don't think that there's anything that I need left here. I got the blue-winged teals, flushed a few of them from the water over here. There goes one actually right now. Pretty awesome to get all of the birds that I needed to get at this one spot and talk about 5 movies that y'all should go watch as soon as this video is over. Picked up a great blue heron flying over the horizon. It's pretty awesome to pick that bird up as well. Now, let's talk about the number 2 movie on my list. Now, this movie is for all of the owl lovers out there. This movie is absolutely amazing. It's another animated movie, but I love it to death. It is The Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
And you should be really proud of yourself, catching a moth that's already been caught.
Wait, you hadn't caught it?
I was very close. One might even say I was this close.
Now, again, if you have kids, you gotta show them this movie. It's got so many different species of owls in it. It's great for birders to just sit there and be able to identify the different species of owls. Great owls, burrowing owls, elf owls, I believe, just a whole bunch of awesome species of owls. Definitely recommend you watch this movie if you haven't seen it already. It's also a book series and it's got a ton of books in it. I used to read them when I was a kid. Definitely recommend those books to your kids, or I guess as an adult you could read them too. There's no restrictions on age. This movie is so much fun. Definitely ask you to check it out, but that'll lead us to our number 1 top movie, my favorite bird movie of all time. I did pick up, there goes a killdeer. I did pick up a new species of duck on camera. We got northern shovelers over here in the water. That's pretty cool. They've got those big honking bills, really easy to identify once you get the shape down on them. So yeah, northern shovelers on the list as well. Let's see if we can find one more bird before we talk about the number 1 bird movie on my list. Let me know in the comments below if you can guess what it is. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm going to say. Picked up some barn swallows. Now let's talk about the number 1 movie on my list. All right, number 1 on the list is The Big Year.
Bostic saw snowcocks.
Can't afford snowcocks?
Snowcocks are on me.
Now this movie is absolutely incredible. You have a star-studded cast. You got Steve Martin, Jack Black, Owen Wilson, just some amazing actors. And that's not even naming everybody in the movie, but absolutely one of the best birding movies ever made. Actually, in my opinion, obviously the best birding movie ever made. Now this movie was made in 2011, making it the newest movie on this list. So if you're a movie person out there, you've got to make more birding movies. People love these things. They made $7.2 million in the box office. That's pretty good for 2011, right? Definitely check out this movie. My favorite movie of all time. I watch it every year on my birthday. Definitely worth the watch.
Bill, there's going to be major fallout in a few hours.
Nuclear fallout?
Bird fallout.
Now there's a few birding books that I would love to see adapted into movies. I'm only gonna name one of them today because I'm gonna do a whole video on books in the future. But Kingbird Highway would make such an amazing movie. That book is by Ken Kaufman. I'm currently reading it, almost done with that book, but absolutely amazing story, really entertaining. Definitely should be adapted into a movie. I think a lot of people would enjoy that. Let me know in the comments below, what movie did I leave off this list that you think should be there, or what book about birding should be adapted into a movie. Now let's go analyze those photos back at home and see what ducks we picked up. Back at home now, and I have had a chance to go over those photos, and I want to show you kind of what I'm dealing with in trying to identify ducks outside of the breeding plumage. It's pretty difficult. The most obvious ducks that I was able to pick out at the very beginning were the ringneck ducks. There very clearly are ringneck ducks out there, and a lot of ducks in that same family as well. I also was able to pick out a redhead duck. There were actually quite a few of them. This is probably the best shot of the redhead. It is hard to pick out ducks when they are not in their breeding plumage. Also was able to pick out a pied-billed grebe. This one is a juvenile pied-billed grebe. Good to add that onto the list as well because I didn't have that previously in the day. And then there was also a ruddy duck. You can only see the back of it, but it is very clearly a ruddy duck with that very rufous back end. Now, probably the best duck that I picked up out of these photos was a canvasback. This is a blurry photo. However, you can tell it is a canvasback by the shape of its forehead going straight into its bill. So very happy to pick up that other very rare bird for this time of year in our county. If you'd like additional ways to support the channel, links to the merch are in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope to see you all next time on Bright-Eyed Birding.